would like to turn to Venerable Sam Chanti about that. As we have seen, some of our people, they come to the temple, sitting in front of the Buddha statue, or they use some, ignite some incense and light some candle and pray for the Buddhas for help. Okay, I want to be happy. May I be happy? Please, Buddha, help me. Or even some ask for lottery and so on. Is that a true refuge? And does it happen anyway when we pray to the Buddha, for happiness and so on? How does the Buddha, the Dhamma, and Sangha truly help us on the daily life? And what can you say about that?
Thank you, Flande, for the valuable question. It is true that many people that they misunderstand about taking refuge in their refuge, especially for our Buddhist people, that they are going to the temple and with their wishes, they wish to be like this, and they wish to gain such a thing like this, or like you mentioned, to win a lottery. Also, it is the way how they want the Buddha or want their merit to help them. As an example, for those people, they are like only asking something for their personal merit, because if they do a lot of merit, do a lot of good deed in previous birth and this birth, to go into the temple offering alms or clothes or other requisites to the Buddha statues or to the Sangha, they gain a lot of merit, but they still asking more and more. They still asking more and more. By asking, they can reduce their confidence in the wrong way. Because to be a real Buddhist, you have to be fully understanding of the Buddha's teaching. As we mentioned earlier, to taking refuge because we fear or because we are suffer. Recall to 1979, the Cambodian people take refuge in Cambodian Thai border camp. So they have shelter and camp. So you run away from the very dangerous situation in Cambodia at the Pol Pot regime. So you run away from the very dangerous situation and dangerous place, seeking for safe. So living in camp in Cambodian Thai border, and you also continue seeking for refuge in the third country like United States of America or European country or European Union or in Australia or some other parts of the world. So because you are fear of what? Fear of die, fear of punishment, or fear of nothing to eat or to survive. So you want to survive with prosperity and with confident security, especially. So this is the way how people taking refuge in the camp. So in the same way, similarly to taking refuge in religions or in the Buddha, in the Triple Gem, it is the same way, because you are fear. And you have to see the real fear. The real fear, what is the real fear? The real suffer, the real thing. It is the suffering. And what are the suffering? The Buddha mentioned in very beginning of his sermon, idamko panapikave dukkam ariya sachang jadi bitukha jara bitukha yadi bitukha maranam bitukha soka parite bitukha domanasa, etc. So, but to coming again and again is suffering. To coming in this world again and again, it is suffering, decay, old age, death. All of these are suffering. When one sees clearly, it is a suffering. You are living in the world full of suffering. Then you seeking where to get rid of all the suffering. By seeking where or how to get rid of all the suffering, you taking refuge in Buddha. Why? Because Buddha enlighten or open up or discover the truth, the way how to get rid of all this suffering. The Buddha explained this is suffering. This is the cause of suffering. This is how to cease of suffering. And this is the way. If you want to get rid of all the suffering, you have to go this way. So Buddha mentioned those Four Noble Truths. Then you take refuge in him. You take refuge in him and you believe in his teaching. That's why you take refuge in Dhamma, his teaching. And you take in the refuge in Sangha, because Sangha follow properly about the Buddha's teaching, and he also continue deliver his teaching, the Buddha's teaching. So if you understand clearly about your own suffering, you taking refuge. This is the good way and the correct way, the only way that you can get rid of suffering. I give an example. So there are many examples. If you read even Vinaya Pitaka or Sutta Pitaka, you will see many stories. But the famous story that you all know is Padajara. So you know how the hard life of Padajara, the misfortunes of Padajara. Padajara Theri was born in very wealth family, very wealth and prosperous family.
Yeah, very wealthy.
But, yeah, wealthy family. But because of only one mistake about desire, cannot control her desire properly, so she ran away. She ran with her boyfriend as a gardener in her house. So how hard is her life? Was her life? So she lost 2 sons, husband, parent, and brother. Become insane. So became insane. So lost his mind, totally lost, and did not aware herself. But by going to the Buddhas to see the Buddha, Buddha just said to recover, to remember her. You are suffered so much in this world, and you lost not only this parent, not only this children, not only this husband, not only this brother, but you lost a long trip of your world cycle. So Badajara remember that, and the Buddha said, etc. So all of those son, husband, parent, or brother, or relatives, or friends cannot help you. When the death come, no one can help you. So you have to help yourself. So that's why Padajara understand and take refuge in the Buddha and become an Arahant. This is how Buddhism or the Buddha have.